I've been wanting to talk about GTA 6 potentially running at 30 frames per second for a long time now, long before these recent supposed leaks came out, basically confirming that the game will launch at a 30 frames per second experience. I haven't checked the validity of those leaks because I've suspected this, and I've suspected this for a long time. And I tried to engage with people and communities to discuss it because I was concerned about it and I wanted to see if someone else shares that concern. And very quickly, every time I tried to bring this up, I was met with apathy, or I was met with, people kind of being delusional. A subset of people would say, no way, it's going to be 60 frames. And another subset would say it's probably going to be a 40 frames, like a consistent 40 frames per second experience. But the rest of everyone else, which is most people, they're like, it's okay, who cares? I don't care. I'm going to buy the game. It's going to be good. It's going to be good at 30 frames. This is Rockstar. I identify as someone that's, in the camp of people who, really likes Rockstar, is a huge Rockstar fanboy. I just happened to be wearing this t-shirt. I didn't even put it on for the video. I get the argument that Rockstar games are very polished. They're very optimized. They come out looking the best among contemporaries, among other games that come out at the time. And people bring up Red Dead 2 as an example. Red Dead 2 came out 30 frames per second on all consoles, and I think even on the PS4 Pro. But Red Dead 2 came out in 2018. Now, there were definitely 60 FPS experiences in 2018, but the standard was still 30, especially all the big blockbuster AAA big studio games all ran at 30. So God of War, Death Stranding, everybody with budgets like these and these cinematic games and mocap and all that, they were all 30 frames per second experiences. And Red Dead 2 did come out looking the best. It is very cinematic. It's very beautiful. It's very optimized. The motion is great and everything looks and feels great. But again, that was in 2018. 30 FPS was still the standard. Now it's 2026. 30 FPS is no longer the standard, and that's an understatement. The standard is 60. Things have shifted. In 2018, the standard was 30, and some people were having 60 FPS experiences. Today, the standard is 60, and some people are having 120 FPS experiences, 165 FPS experiences. But the standard is 60. People who are really into games and they know about the tech and all that, they're really invested and they're nerdy about it. Like myself, I identify as that. Maybe they understand, frames per second. Not that it's a complicated, concept, but maybe they're invested about that. They understand it, but more casual people don't. But even with the casual audience, when people get a PS5 and they find out about the whole fidelity mode, performance mode setting, they get a new game. They just got their new PS5. They fire up the game. Maybe the game, by default, it's in fidelity mode. So it looks nice, reflections, whatever. The resolution is as high as it should be, maybe. But then they'll try performance mode. They're going to switch it on. Then they're going to go back to the game, and they're going to try it out for a couple seconds. Immediately, it feels better. It feels smoother, more responsive. For the player, it feels better. And that's the core of it all. It doesn't matter if you are a hardcore gamer or a casual gamer, someone that just picks up games to unwind sometimes. The core experience affects everybody the same. And when we talk about gaming, the core experience entails, responsiveness and something that feels as interactive as it should be. So that casual gamer that's trying out a new game for the first time and trying out that setting that switches between fidelity and performance, when they try performance for a couple seconds, they're not going to go back to fidelity. And they don't know anything about frames. I went to a friend's house a couple months ago, and he was playing, I think, Control on PS5, and he was playing in fidelity mode. I noticed because the game ran terribly. I don't even think it was a consistent 30 frames. And I was like, oh, dude, this feels terrible. Please tell me there's a performance mode. And he didn't know what I was talking about. So he's sitting right next to me. I have the controller, I go into the settings, and I switch to performance mode. I go back to the game, and it's a night and day difference. Obviously, he notices, and I don't think he switched back. So that's the point I'm trying to make. 60 frames isn't some kind of snobby gamer, like a persnickety request. It's the standard, and all the devices around us. Like if you don't have a phone with like a high refresh rate, like I have an iPhone 13, so I'm locked to 60. Even if you don't have a phone that's like 90 hertz or 120 hertz or whatever, and your phone is in 60 hertz, well, your phone is in 60 hertz. The OS on your TV is in 60 hertz, probably. Your computer, at minimum, is in 60 hertz. You might have a computer that's 120 hertz, and that's becoming very normal, and a lot of people don't notice it, but their computers are in 120 hertz. You're surrounded by all this tech where the display, the screen, is at a minimum of 60 hertz, or 60 frames per second. And you want to come out with a game that's in 30 frames per second, or look, maybe forget about the leaks. Like I said, I didn't check the validity of the leaks. I'm actually more interested in discussing this consensus that I think is pretty mistaken and pretty invalid, which is this popular sentiment that 30 frames is fine. Don't complain. This is Rockstar. Don't complain. $100 Ultimate Edition, where you get the full game, and $80, not $70 like other games. They get to charge $80 because they're Rockstar and it's GTA. And when you pay $80, you don't get the full game. Stores are locked. Some stores, not bonuses, not outfits, not t-shirts. Physical stores are locked behind a paywall. And all this is supposed to be fine. And lots of people are like, I don't know why everyone's complaining. And it pisses me off because I'm not like an older guy. I'm not even a millennial. This is not a knock on millennials, but I'm not a millennial, so I don't have like that rose-colored lenses looking back at a better time in gaming. But I did experience a really good time in gaming. I grew up in the 2000s and played at 30 frames for all of the 2000s and for the better part of the 2010s as well. And one thing I remember from all of my childhood and my teenage years and even a little bit of my adulthood is that Rockstar Games is unmatched when it comes to releasing full, complete experiences at the price everybody else releases their games. And when you buy a new Rockstar game, you are buying the best thing you could possibly buy for your console, for your system. You are experiencing the best your system has to offer. And that's why these companies like Xbox and PlayStation, they know that whatever Rockstar does is a console seller. And it seems like PlayStation is banking pretty hard on that. They want to release GTA 6 for $80. That's fine. It's fine. It's $10 more than everything else. But yeah, it's Rockstar Games. It's probably going to be the best thing you play that year, maybe the year after. But then they want to lock physical stores, physical locations behind a paywall. Or I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe you can access the stores, but the merchant tells you to get your broke ass out of here and pay an extra $20 to be able to shop at the store. And back to the whole 30 frames per second thing. This is my larger point here. The way people are okay, a lot of people are okay, and a lot of people are defending this kind of overtly capitalistic, predatory behavior, upselling people and shortchanging them and compromising. And it's funny, the camp of people, which seems to be a big camp, who are defending all this, they have this argument saying we don't want Rockstar to compromise on their vision, to compromise on the game's ambitious mission statement for visuals, but it's already compromised. In 2026, if you buy a PS5 or a Series X and you're more than halfway into the life cycle of that console, of that system, a lot of the games that you play on that system run at 60 or could run at 60 frames. And then the new GTA, the highly anticipated GTA 6 comes out and it runs at 30. Like you have to go back in time as a gamer. Like it's frustrating. I'm more frustrated in the sentiment, the reaction that people have, the people that say it's okay, it's fine, and defend it. I'm more frustrated at that than the prospect that GTA 6 might have a 30 FPS outing. I don't know what Rockstar is up to. Again, this is why I'm not making this video because of the leaks. Maybe the leaks are inaccurate, maybe they're fake, whatever. And GTA 6 will run at 60 frames. Nevertheless, it's really disappointing seeing so many people who have no issue with this hobby of ours, which admittedly, it's a silly hobby. And I don't say that as like, to like disrespect the hobby, but I'm saying that admittedly, gaming is this recreational thing. The same way there are lots of things that are recreational. And I think there's a lot of beauty in gaming, and there's infinite art potential in gaming. And that sits alongside in importance to interactability and gameplay and the gameplay experience, the fun aspect of it. But still, gaming is this thing. All these shareholders, all these companies understand that, it's all about fun. And that's how they're able to put money into it, because when it's fun, it really works. And people buy a game, and people buy a console, and people buy PC parts. And then they realize, I think we can take advantage of this. I think the market share, the audience is big enough. I think we can jack up prices. And that's what they do. So I don't understand. Why are you okay with paying more and getting less? And not only that, but like being really okay with it and going out of your way to defend the decision makers behind that. There's no reason to. I know this feels and sounds impossible, but you actually have free will. You have the ability to not buy GTA, or you have the ability to be vocal about how disappointing everything that has been confirmed, everything that has come out about, the game and how it's going to run on systems and how much they're going to charge. You have the ability to be vocal about how disappointed you are in that. These companies, you could say no to them, and you don't have to give in, and you don't have to struggle with FOMO. All you have to do, all of us, we have to do, is just kind of threaten these companies, kind of threaten Rockstar that we're not going to buy GTA. And Take-Two is going to backpedal on a lot of things. They might backpedal on the whole Ultimate Edition physical stores being locked, the gang hideout thing being locked. They say there's a gang hideout type of side mission world activity that you won't be able to do on the Standard Edition. Maybe they backpedal on that. They backpedal on the physical stores. Who knows what else they're planning? We don't even know what they're going to do with GTA Online yet. And because of that, I am not excited about GTA Online. I am not holding out hope for anything regarding the new GTA Online, because of how much of a shit show GTA 5 Online came to be, evolved, or should I say, devolved to be, and also Red Dead Online. These are two experiences. One is more successful than the other. Like GTA Online is obviously more successful than Red Dead Online, and GTA Online gets more attention. They put in more work, and the developers and the studio, they pay more attention to it, and they breathe more life into it than whatever they do with Red Dead Online. But regardless, these are two experiences that are glaring signs that they do not care about giving you a good gameplay experience. They are more interested in how much they can profit off of you in a way that makes them compromise on the game, on the core vision, on pretty much everything. Obviously, that has to be more Take-Two than it is Rockstar, but still, it's not like Rockstar puts up a fight. I don't think they can. I don't try to blame Rockstar, or I don't try to blame the developers and the creative people over there, because I just know if you want to keep this job and you want to keep, this really good salary, you want to keep working for one of the biggest, probably the biggest video game studio in the world with the best reputation, although that is clearly subject to change, then you gotta follow orders and you gotta do what Take-Two says. But they've already compromised. They compromised 100 times. They compromised in GTA Online when it did not evolve to be bigger and better. I mean, I guess it's bigger. I don't know how much better it is. I honestly stopped playing GTA Online a long time ago. They most definitely compromised in Red Dead Online, and I haven't played that in years as well. So if you think, well, the Rockstar single player experience is coveted and it is meant to be pure and it is a fundamental that they do not touch it, they do not, compromise it, and it would be blasphemous if they compromised it if they milked the audience and they ruined that coveted single player experience, which has always been the core of any Rockstar game and has always been the thing that they really would do right, and they would do right by the audience, by the gamers, when it comes to the single player experience of all Rockstar titles. If you think they're not at the point where this fundamental belief, this core belief, is not in jeopardy, it is very much in jeopardy. We're seeing it already with what they're announcing for the Ultimate Edition and the Standard Edition. And before anyone says, well, Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 had like Ultimate Edition, Standard Edition differences. My brother, they were all cosmetic stuff, or like you get a horse, or you get a vehicle, you get a car, you get a weapon maybe, but they don't lock a store where that you can enter and interact inside of behind a paywall. Look, maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe GTA 6 comes out and there are like the most stores you've seen in any GTA. Like, we're not talking about like 2 Ponsonbys, 2 Suburbans, 2 Binko, or whatever it's called. We're talking about like really like a total of maybe like a dozen or more than a dozen stores, clothing stores. So maybe if GTA 6 is the biggest world they've ever built, and not just biggest in size, but also in like depth and scale, where it's the most stores, it's the most random encounters, it's the most enterable buildings, it's the most points of interactivity, which is what they've shown us in Red Dead 2. Like, Red Dead 2 is way more interactive and has way more substance than GTA 5. If they're continuing down that path, and GTA 6 really is the biggest in every way, then okay, maybe locking a store or 2 behind a paywall is fine in the grand scheme of things. Maybe locking a mission, 1 mission or 2 missions. I just hope it's not a mission type, and I don't think it is, because if it's a mission type, then that's unforgivable. Like, you can't defend that. But if it's a mission and you still have other missions in that mission type or that activity type, and this is just one activity, then it's fine. Let's just see what happens when the game comes out. It is pretty frustrating and really stupid to see all these people that are careless about our rights. So, again, I am very okay with the idea that gaming is just a hobby, and I live by that. I don't try to blow it up. I love playing video games, but I don't try to like get the best TV and like upgrade my PC to the max and do the most and all that. But it's a hobby that I cherish, and I'll buy a better display, and I'll buy a better monitor, and I'll try to like look at prices for RAM and video cards every once in a while, even though I won't make any purchases because everything is too expensive. But still, let's see a little backbone. Let's care about the money in our pockets a little bit. Let's care about our bank balances and not be so willy frickin' nilly and just be so easy to, like, we're so easy, bro. That's the problem. These companies, they see us as so easy, so loose, and we'll go home with them and stuff. And that's what pisses me off. It's like, show a little backbone, buy me a drink first, tell me what are you planning to do, how big is your place. So yeah, I think ultimately I'm not as excited about GTA 6 as I used to be, and I know when trailer 3 drops, that's gonna change. I'm gonna get fired up again, and I'm gonna get all hot and bothered, and but I don't know, if it runs at 30 frames, I don't want it. So that's why. And also like the people pre-ordering. Oh, and all this, and I forgot to bring up how there's no physical disc if you got the physical edition instead of the digital. You just get a box, and that's another tradition they compromised on, because if every Rockstar game that has ever come out and you buy the physical version, you get the box and you get the disc inside and you get the map. You get the cool map. And it was a whole experience, and you own the game. And of course, the trajectory we're going in all mediums in gaming, in streaming, like movies and TV and everything. They don't want you to own anything. They don't want you to own anything. So everything is like a license to watch it. You have a license to watch this movie or watch this show or play this game. No more permanent ownership of anything. So that's another thing they compromised on. Man, the map. The map is like a big part. Like, I don't have them up anymore, but I had the GTA 4 and the GTA 5 maps on my walls. So that's another bad omen, I guess. So yeah, if it is confirmed, GTA 6 will only run in 30 FPS, I genuinely might not buy it. That's not hyperbole. That's not me, ruffling feathers or trying to get engagement or flack or anything. I am being sincere. I really might not buy the game I've waited for 13 years, ever since this game came out. I might not buy it because it's bullshit. Me, of all people, like, you don't know me, but like I established, I'm a huge Rockstar fanboy. But I think if I'm saying I might not buy GTA 6, then something is wrong. Something is seriously wrong. Oh, and of course, there's the stuff with the union busting and like the crunch time, and they addressed the crunch time, and supposedly, like, part of the reason GTA 6 might have taken so long is because they're really doing more to not force, the engineers and the developers and the people that work at Rockstar Games to work overtime. And I'm more than okay with that. And the union busting thing, I don't know how it's been resolved. Maybe it's not resolved. But yeah, not good vibes. Not good vibes at Rockstar. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.